It's Mike of Keys to Succeed. How you doing? All right, let's get straight to it. My videos won't waste no time. This is an investor video, but for an investor video for people who don't know how easy it is. Um, Unfortunately, there's an overload of information, and there's not a lot of people that's willing to take the time to simplify. So this video is literally for people who are at the beginning stage, at the basic level, wanting to learn. And this is step one in wanting to learn, is watching this video. I'm not on here to make no money. I don't care. I'm not on here to get a portion of it. I'm just on here to show people that, or to tell people that you don't have to be a professional. You don't have to be trained, and you don't have to give a portion of your money away every single year in order to invest. These smartphones, these apps, Robinhood, TD Ameritrade, Webull, all these companies, whoever you want to use, it doesn't matter. It's all the same stock market in a way. You pick the interface you might like, but it's all the same stock market. These apps are a window into the stock market. They don't own the stock market. You put your money on the app, it's on the app in a way, and then you buy a certain stake in a certain company. And that app does not own the money you put on that company. And you can transfer your account around at will if you do not like, for whatever reason, the app that you bought originally through. You do not have to sell it and then take the money and then send it somewhere else to put it on a new app. You can send the whole account to a different app. Anyway, let's go back to the beginning. Basic principles of investing. Start with you budgeting yourself. We're starting from basic in this video. Like I said, if you're doing options, or you made all this money, or you buy and sell and trade on a regular basis, it's not for you. Or maybe it is. Anyway, we as people in America have to learn how to budget. We need to learn how to budget. We need to stop the cycle of living in debt. We need to stop the cycle of living paycheck to paycheck. We need to stop the cycle of spending all our money, being extreme consumers, just super consumers. You have to learn how to make your money work for you. The decision that you must make is how and how much. But you have to learn. It's a necessity to learn how to make your money work for you. You're not supposed to work for forever. You're not supposed to work, and when I say work, I mean like hard work on your back. I mean physical labor, time, selling your time. You're not supposed to do that. The American way is not to do that. It's not for you to work for until you're 60 something years old, barely can move, with all these pains and stuff hurting. That's not what you're supposed to do. What you're supposed to do was work while you're young. Work as hard as you can, build up money, save and invest. Then by the time you're up in age, that investment money will be coming back at a huge rate to make up for what your body cannot do anymore. That's what you were supposed to be doing. That's literally the secret that they didn't tell you. It's a lot of people out here that worked hard in the beginning. They built companies in the beginning. They did what they had to do. They went to a lot of school in the beginning. They went and they pause. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. The other thing about my videos that I'm posting on YouTube is it would be one take, unless something forces me to stop, as like that just did. Anyway, this is where I was. You were supposed to work hard in your younger years, and then you were supposed to make smart investments with the money. You were supposed to plant money seeds and grow money trees, so that when you're older in age, you can pluck the leaves off the tree, but still leave the tree. That's what you were supposed to do with your money. Unfortunately, we weren't taught that. And a lot of people, they found out later in life. Some people found out with Some people never found out, and some people found out with 10 years left on their life. Some people found out with 20 years left on their life. It's better to find out at some point in time, but the point is, though, if you found out in your 20s, in your 30s, and you lived to be 60 and you had 30 years of investing, work is optional earlier than retirement age. And that's what we all have to learn. We all have to get to. Basic principles of a lot of books I've read, but I'm going to pinpoint one book I've recently posted about, which was The Richest Man in Babylon. The basic principle of that book is pay yourself first. Whatever, regardless of how much money you make at a physical job or whatever money moves you make, you're supposed to take 10%. Call it, for if I say the first 10%, the religious people will come for me. Take 10%. I don't care if it's the first 10% or the second. Take 10%, and you're supposed to save and invest that. Learn this. Realize I said save and invest that. Saving first, invest second. Investing takes some research, but some basic research. I'm gonna make it easy for you as well. But save and invest that. You must plant seeds with your money. Water it. Allow it to grow. Take 10% of your money from every single paycheck that you get, and I'm gonna tell you where to put it, because I'm keeping this simple. I believe that the foundation of your investment portfolio should start with an index fund. I'm going to bring up one index fund that's the most common index fund that rich people use as their bank account. It's on here several times. It is VOO. It is the S&P 500. For those that don't know, like I said, this is a basic video. You haven't heard me, some of you might be family, might have heard me say this stuff before. The S&P 500 is the top 500 companies in this country, collectively grouped together under one stock. It is the safest, the most, I thought he was about to make me move again. For those that don't know, I'm at Peterbilt in my truck, so I had to bring one of them in for work, and I'm in line, and you know how they go. Some of us know how they go. Anyway, VOO is the safest place you could put your money in the stock market. It is also the most consistent place you can put your money in the stock market. Other things go up, they go down. Some things have a good couple of years, they have a good this year, but in a 5 to 10 year period, VOO is the most consistent. That's the place you want your money. You want to take it every single paycheck you get, every single hustle, side hustle, every single thing you do, pay yourself first. Take 10% of that and put it in the stock market. If you don't want to put that full 10% on VOO, if you have a little more stomach for more risk, you can then buy the other stuff that we all know are good companies. I would just, risk factor is part of investing. You may buy something, it may go up, it may go down, but what we're talking about is over time and developing a habit to help you. So we're talking 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 years down the line, 35, 40 years down the line. It's not like that if you want to put money on individual companies, which is a lot more risky because you have to count on that company doing right by people, not getting sued, not going bankrupt, not getting greedy. We see what the banking industry is doing here. Even if you don't understand it all the way, you understand it a little bit. Crypto is risky, is up and down and here and there, and deregulated, regulated, taxed, not taxed, blah 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 blah. Anyway, the S&P 500 is the foundation of your stock portfolio. It should be the foundation of your stock portfolio. You separate, you get paid, you get a paycheck, you take your 10%, you download Robinhood or Webull or TD Ameritrade, or I don't care what app you use, and then you put it on stock. You create a habit, and then you constantly do it. Doesn't matter if it go up or down. Short term, it doesn't matter if it go up or down. Do it. Make it a habit. Do it. Now, say you want to take the 10%, you want to put 8% on an index fund, and then you want to put 2% on a more riskier company that you feel confident in. That's okay, but just don't take the 10% and put it on on an individual company. It's not safe. It is not a good place to start. Now, later on, further research, after you have a foundation in VOO, in the S&P 500, you've collected a certain amount of shares. If you like to play around with some of the other stuff, I'll have more videos later. In my opinion, if we're talking to beginners, which is who this video is made for, you shouldn't be taking your money, huge lumps, and putting it on individual companies. It's way too risky. Put it on an index fund. Now, there's an index fund for every single industry. You don't have to go with the S&P 500, even though that's the safest and most consistent. You can put it inside your individual field. You may be a nurse. You may be a truck driver. You may be working at a semiconductor factory. You may be at a tech company, and you may want to put money on a tech index fund. That's fine. VOO has something for you. I'm not sponsored by anybody, but VOO is what I use. Vanguard, which is what the V stand for. Vanguard is what I use to find potential index funds for whole industries I like to buy. An index fund, when you buy an index fund, you're buying hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of companies all at once. So the risk factor is very low. If you buy one stock, one share of the S&P 500, and one of those companies starts to do horrible, the CEO says something crazy on a recorded line, Papa John's, or they go bankrupt, Lordstown Motors announced yesterday, or they have problems, they will fall out of the S&P 500 and the next company will take its spot, which means that it will forever go as a complete system. You don't have to worry about, in reality, think about the top 500 companies in this country. Pause. I'm back again. So, like I said, though, I'm at Peterbilt. They got me moving side to side. I need a quick 5 minutes. But, anyway, so let the S&P 500 be your foundation. There's virtually nothing that can happen to make the top 500 companies in this country do bad for an extended period of time, unless it's an extreme war. Everything is short term. They go up together, they go down together, but they do not move as much as individual companies who are trying to find their way. That is a gamble, and it's a lot more risky. Not saying you shouldn't do it, because you can do a lot of research and you can hit that as well. One of the things about these apps, they're making it easier to get more information for these companies, and you can do that in the future. I would say first create your habit, right? That way you understand that you can live on 90% of your income, right? Like you'll be all right. Like you'll make a way, because you've been making a way and you've been taking L's anyway. So why not budget yourself and let one of those losses be not a true loss, but something that benefits you in the future. Whether you leave it to your kids or whether you pluck some leaves off the money tree you planted in your 20s, 30s, or even in your 40s, 50s. I don't care when you plant it. The bottom line is that you created a money tree that you can leave to the next generation below you, to your family. You can write it in a will if you're that far along in life. Trust funds, retirement accounts. Those of you that quit jobs, had a 401k, never did anything with it, can roll it over. You can do this or that. You can talk to people that specialize in that sort of thing. Me, myself, I rolled mine into a rollover account that I control, and then I can take that money and I can apply it in the stock market. So understand that companies like Vanguard, that's why they do what they do, was to make investing easy for the average person. Now you don't have to go to a financial advisor and give them 1 to 5 to sometimes 10%. I've even heard 15% of your money per year. robbery. So, but that's why those companies exist. They did this on purpose so that investing can be easy. That and smartphones. We know smartphones, like, they put it in the palm of your hand. You have the whole stock market in the palm of your hand. You just have to make phone calls, and big computers would get the phone lines, get the crossing and all this stuff, and get the happen and all this, typewriters that get to going. We got all this stuff in the palm of our hand, and we using social media and smartphones for the dumbest of reasons. You can hit buttons in your phone and get paid. You know what I mean? Anyway, if I left anything out there, for those of you that know me, don't hesitate. Those of you that want to leave comments, don't hesitate. I'll try to respond to the ones that make sense. We know what this is, like when we put ourselves out there in the real world like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not no type of certified specialist or none of that. I'm just here trying to give the common people information that people won't give them. And it's quite ridiculous that to talk to someone they want a fee. And I mean, I get it, but the information is here. The information is out there. These apps, your smartphone makes it easy. I'm not telling you that you're gonna take $100 and make $1 million. I'm not telling you that. Roughly, on average, you're looking at a 10% gain per year. I'll take that over nothing, over spending it. A 10% gain per year. So imagine the way compound interest work. Now, I'll have to, compound interest is maybe a whole video on its own. I have limitations on what I'm willing to do right now, but if you put a certain amount of money in the stock market every single time you get paid for one complete year, and you put it on the S&P 500, which pre-COVID was like 20% or something was returning on the money. You really want to look up something if you have some extra time. Look up what the S&P 500 did in the Obama years, following the negative Bush years. And I'm not political. I'm just a realist. So following the negative Bush years, what the S&P 500 did in the Obama years. So now we're coming off the COVID years. There's a boost that's going to happen. Make it easy on yourself. Buy an index fund. You don't have to buy that one. There are other S&P 500 index funds where there's little slight differences and stuff. I'm just telling you about the one I use. If you want to ask about individual companies, you want to ask about the Apples, the Googles, the Teslas, things of that nature. I'll actually have other videos about that stuff. I'll tell you, 8, 9, 10 reasons why you should be buying Tesla right now. If you really want to hear that, I'll tell you why you should buy Apple right now. I'll tell you why, you should buy these companies that are in the top 5, in the top 10 in this country, who recently split and made their prices really low so that more people can afford to buy it and afford to build up a portfolio. A dollar is a dollar. Doesn't matter really what the cost is. You don't have to buy a full share. You can put $5 a week on something. But the point is, it looks better to you to buy Google at $119 instead of Google at $3,000. But you do want to buy it at $119 and then hopes it'll go back to $3,000, which it will. Tesla is Tesla. It's everywhere. Tesla's not a car company. It's a tech company. It's an energy company. It is a user data company. It is a lot of stuff. Just throwing those couple gems out there. I'm not going to do the video on that yet, but when you buy a portion of the S&P 500, you get a portion of these companies. You get the Amazon, the Teslas, the Apples, the Googles. You get all this stuff. You get Berkshire Hathaway. You know what I mean? You get real estate companies. You get it's the top 500. Doesn't matter what sector they're in. Doesn't matter what index they're in. It doesn't matter what they're doing. If they're the top based on money and size, then you'll get a portion of them, and that's why that's safe. But if you're looking to buy something at 1 cent and in 2 years sell it for $1,000, good luck. I'm not that guy. I'm too real and truthful for to try to feed you some goofy stuff, but I will tell you extra reasons why you should be buying certain companies if you reach out to me and you really want to know. I feel like I've covered the basics. The other basics would be you will get kickback money. I'll call it kickback money. Really, it's called the dividend, where a company just takes some of their profits and just pays shareholders. You buy the S&P 500, there's pieces of dividends that come from a lot of those companies, and most people set it to reinvest, so they get a dividend the next day after it's paid out, whether it's every 90 days, half a year, 1 year, whenever it goes into your account. Most people set it to reinvest, so the next stock market day it'll go back and buy more of whatever paid it. That's how dividends work in the quick response, the quick answer. But that's all I have for you. This video is a little bit longer than what I thought it would be, but I tried to cover, and I got interrupted a couple times by Peterbilt people who didn't even come out here to hook the doggone computer up to my truck. But it's all good. I ain't tripping. I expected this. So anyway, this video is over. I'm not sponsored. I said a lot of names. There's gonna be a bunch of hits come back on YouTube or whatever, but I'm not sponsored. But I talked good about some companies though. So if that's what you reach out to a brother, holla at your boy. You know what I'm saying? Peace, man. Keep God first. Invest your money. You can do better than 10% for real, but I'll leave that for another video. For those of you that have a 401k, I believe you should invest outside of your 401k too, because if you're at the basic level of the people that I talk to that just kind of trust the system, they trust their company, they got a packet, they didn't really understand it, they just circled and filled in some stuff. When depressions happen, when recessions happen, when these things happen, the professionals lose money. They lose your money. They don't lose theirs oftentimes, because they get paid by your account even if it goes down. So you want to watch those as well, but you can do this outside of that, and you can be able to hit 2 buttons and have the money back in your account by tomorrow, 2 days, 2 business days, or whatever. But you can get to your money faster when needed. Hit the button, sell, send back to the bank. 48 hours is there. Most cases. Robinhood, 48 hours is back in the account. Stay safe, keep God first, man.